Going to be the chair, so I'm going to pass it over to her. I'm just going to...
Okay, great. Well, they leave the best for last, of course. And we're going to make sure that we're going to keep you on time and get you out of here by 5. But just before we get started, I want to thank Marine Renewables Canada for being a trailblazer in doing a hybrid event like this. I know there's a lot of risk involved with these events these days, so kudos to you guys for actually getting this done and getting us face-to-face. Our panel today is to talk about the blue economy. I'm going to keep my remarks short given the time, but just a few numbers to throw at you in terms of the blue economy, which does include offshore wind and wave and tidal energy, amongst many other new forms of emerging technologies and initiatives that are coming out of the new ocean economy. So across Canada, it's over 300,000 jobs that are related to the ocean economy, which of course is not, maybe not to a surprise given our oceans that we have, but an important contributor to the overall GDP of the country. And over 31 billion is invested in the ocean economy. So energy is a big part of that, so just to keep that in mind. And the other thing that I think is important, that's probably been mentioned at one point or another, but the Government of Canada is engaging in a blue economy strategy. Obviously, this is an important part of the framework for Canada, so that will be another important exercise that's going to be done. I don't know what their timeline is on that, but that's moving ahead as well. So that's it for me. I'm going to get started right away with our guests today for this panel. And starting off with Courtney Trous from the Sustainable Oceans Applied Research. And you're going to be talking about coastal and remote communities. So passing it off to you, Courtney.
So just echoing the sentiments of everybody here who's spoken so far today, huge shout out to MRC for making this possible. This is really amazing that we're able to be here. And hello to everybody across Canada who's joining from afar on floating screens somewhere. I hope you've enjoyed the day so far. As Melanie mentioned, my name is Courtney Trous. I'm the Community Collaboration Officer for Sustainable Oceans Applied Research, also known as SOAR. You can see on here a picture of me and my dog Izzy out on our research vessel, Grand Adventure. She's really awesome on the boat. The only problem is that she constantly tries to eat the fish before we've taken them off the hook. So we're getting really good at doing that really fast because despite being 14 years old, her enthusiasm has not diminished at all, and she's willing to put that 65 pounds into whatever endeavor she's on. So we had a really great summer, and I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about where we've gone before, where we are now. Being asked to discuss our experience of facilitating development in remote and rural communities has been a really great opportunity for us to reflect on our journey to date. What has come forward with clarity is that it's genuine relationships built upon respect, respect, empathy, humility, and trust that facilitate meaningful, sustainable, and mutually beneficial development. A decade ago, we were carried by the tides and the dream of community-owned tidal energy to the island communities we would come to call our home. We were eager and excited, and almost immediately we got our kayaks into the water. It's so beautiful there, and we couldn't wait to explore the playground around us. Out of concern for our well-being, locals also immediately began sharing their knowledge of these sometimes dangerous waters. They also accelerated our familiarity with the local Coast Guard because they called them pretty much every time we went out there, so we got pretty familiar with those guys. This initial playtime would eventually lead to the creation of our first drifters, which we deployed and recovered from our kayaks and other small vessels around southwest Nova Scotia, thanks to funding from OERA. Over the years, we've developed a cost-effective system that pairs a variety of drifters with aerial support from drones to assist in tracking and measurement. This simple, adaptive, and effective approach allows us and others to meet measurement needs of a wide variety of conditions and communities. One of our most favorite drift ventures was the Great Pumpkin Race. So you can see a picture there of those 3 folks with pumpkins. We got a huge crate of pumpkins, brought them down to the community Local people were able to select a pumpkin. Some of them just put numbers on them. Some of them actually took the time to decorate them. And we tossed them off the back of a lobster boat and then had a race. So if your pumpkin won, you got a prize. We had a lot of fun. And I think it just kind of helped the community understand that science could be fun, and we're here to enjoy being with them and doing stuff with them. As our drifters evolved over the years, so did our relationships on the island. We rely on them for everything from clean drinking water at the local well, berths for our boats at the already crowded wharves, building for our offices, and space to call home. The island communities have worked hard to make it possible for us to live, work, and thrive alongside them. It is a dance of reciprocity, where we seek to meet kindness with kindness and to be part of building a future in which coming generations are proud of the work we have done. We have spent many grateful hours listening to locals, and the more we listened, the more we came to realize that they have extensively vast knowledge on everything, from species abundance, distribution, and habits, to the complex and dynamic nature of the tidal currents. It has been very humbling. We've thoroughly enjoyed these opportunities to listen and learn, and very occasionally, we're even able to offer them a new tidbit of information to add to their repertoire. Conversations with the community, though, have not always been easy, but they have always been based on honesty and openness. Their opinions and feedback, even when different than our own, hold significance in our decisions and approach. This has built trust and understanding. They have created relationships rooted in empathy, shared values, respect for the ocean, and a mutual goal of thriving communities. These insightful and supportive relationships... Oh, did I go the wrong way? Sorry, guys. These insightful and supportive relationships have been vital in our ongoing collaborations over the past decade with Dr. Alex Hay of Dalhousie University, Dr. Richard Karsten of Acadia University, Dr. Len Zadell of Memorial University of Newfoundland, and more recently, Dr. Eric Bibo at the Canadian Hydrokinetic Turbine Test Centre. We have collectively placed Atlantic Canada at the forefront of developing intelligent systems for site characterization and monitoring the effects of tidal turbines on the biological and physical environment. We never have a problem finding eager and capable crew to assist in this sort of research. So these approaches and the knowledge that has been generated through their development has created the opportunity for world-class projects in Daly County. We see this demonstrated by SME's tidal platform, Platt-Eye out in the Grand Passage, with Nova Innovations receiving their permitting in Petit Passage, and from the interest of many other developers around the world. So how do we apply this past decade of learning to new opportunities? First, we acknowledge that meaningful relationships take time to build. I'll get it right. However, approaching with respect, humility, empathy, and the intention to build trust can potentially save us years of effort and misunderstanding. Recently, we have enjoyed dedicating some of our time to the co-creation of a memorandum of understanding between Nova Innovations and the local communities, as Kim mentioned in his presentation. This is still a work in progress, but it's certainly really exciting. The process of creating these sorts of agreements leads to important conversations. Insight is gained on both sides into values, priorities, limitations, protocols, and cultural significance. They give time to listen with openness and empathy, laying the groundwork of mutual respect and trust. They put into writing a commitment to work together in a good way, which honors the diverse experience of all of those involved. We feel that these agreements and their creation process are of exceptional value and hope to see them become best practice not just in our own industry, but in many others as well. Our other community ventures have been varied, ranging from outlandish to practical, and recently have included the Marine Observer Program, which has provided key data and local jobs, Creature Features, which is a live Facebook event in which Madison Lent and I had way too many terrible puns, but everybody loved them, and we taught a few things about local animals to the Bay of Fundy. And soon to be released, we have a marine animal guide coming out, and that brings together traditional Mi'kmaq knowledge, local knowledge, stories, artwork, and animal facts. Keep your eyes open for that one. We're really excited about it. It's an amazing body of work, and we're really honored to have been a part of that. We're also hopeful that this coming summer will allow us to expand our education and art endeavors. So speaking of days to come, the NRCan Clean Growth Project, for us, which began in April 2019, continues to carry our expedition forward into new waters. Dr. Eric Bibo is taking the lead on work with hydrokinetic turbines in river environments, and SOAR has the lead in tidal channel environments. Collectively, we are addressing barriers to providing renewable baseload power to supply remote and rural communities, many of which are currently entirely reliant on diesel generators. We're applying what we've learned in the Digby region to work with these communities to help develop best practices for biological and physical site assessment. This includes putting our tools into their hands so that they can quantify, map, and build upon their existing knowledge in meaningful ways that will help them create informed community energy plans. In 2021, we are looking forward to taking part in case studies we have planned with Indigenous communities in BC and coastal Northern Labrador. The Nunatuavut Community Council, University of Victoria, and Queen's University will be collaborating on these studies. We're really excited about deepening our relationships within these communities and discovering where this adventure leads us. We're also currently working to better understand the effects of tidal turbines on the biological and physical environment. This includes use of marine observers and ocean acoustic systems for monitoring marine animals and mapping the turbulence in the water downstream of SME's tidal platform in Grand Passage. This information will be vital in the creation of best practices moving forward. Our work and life on the islands has taught us so much more than 10 minutes allows me to cover. But I am proud to say that we have shown that respect leads to honest, open conversations, that empathy allows us to experience new perspectives and new possibilities, that we must always be humble and gracious for the opportunity to listen and learn, and through this humility we learn things we didn't even know we didn't know. And that by engaging in a genuine, humane way, we can build trust. These sorts of relationships can span generations. These types of relationships can allow us to accomplish together so much more than any of us could have accomplished on our own. It is our hope that in the future, interested parties can come to the Grand Passage and Petit Passage to see firsthand the synergy of research, technology development, tidal energy, innovation, and community participation, using our successes here in Nova Scotia as a blueprint for their own. In closing, we would like to thank NRCan, OERA, and ACOA for their ongoing support over the past decade. You guys have been absolutely instrumental in charting the course for tidal energy here in Nova Scotia. It is through our relationships and hard work towards common goals that we're able to continue to provide world-class services and research. We look forward to discovering and help shape what the next decade brings together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Courtney. You actually make work look like fun, and you've involved